I've got a new tool for you guys. It's actually a whole new tool set, and this is just one of 3 boxes that come with it. It is very unique in what it offers, what is all included, how it functions as a toolbox, and, well, we'll dive into it here in just a sec. So the company's called BlackZero, and they reached out to us and asked us to review this product and show you guys all of its little quirks and features to see if it's something that works out for you guys at home or in the shop. A little spoiler, probably more about at-home toolbox, but we'll dive into it right now. So this is box 1. Here's your part number here. All right, so as you can see here, this is a plastic box. It feels like it's ABS, and it has a couple locks on the side that we'll review here right now for you guys to see. It allows you to release as it's locked. Well, before we pull it apart, this doubles as a handle too, so you can carry it around as a small toolbox. So we'll release the sides, and then there's actually a button here on the front that allows you to open it. Now it's worth noting too, on this one, it gives you a brief view of what's going to be the main components within this box. So you're going to have, looks like screwdrivers, looks like a crescent wrench, and a hammer. So let's take it and pop it open. All right, so it pops open. You do have a little instruction manual for what everything is that is inside this box. So feel free to use that. All right, and then I have a nice little foam tray here to obviously help keep things from getting bounced around inside of this box. All right, so this is your first glance look at everything that's inside here. It is actually all specified in its own grouping, which I like. So for portability and for ease of maintenance, it's all in one spot. Now, starting off, you're going to have this screwdriver. It looks like it has a magnet down inside there. So you grab these bits, put them inside. Works okay. We rubber over molded. It is going to be, yeah, it's just painted on. This is harder plastic on the tip. I like how they have all the reliefs inside here. So as you put it back, it is going to stick in there actually fairly nice. I do also like that they have a little short stubby here. So as you're needing to get into tight places, the short stubby has the same rubber over mold, the same harder plastic, and the same magnetic retention inside. So overall, nice clean setup. Now bits you're going to see here, you're going to have all your slot nose, Phillips. Oh, these actually have, this is actually rubber or silicone, this tray. Okay, so that's actually nice. It's a silicone tray with all of your driver bits in there. So get a good look, guys. See what all is there. You can see all the hexes, square drives, specialty drives, PZs, Phillips. So there's a pretty good assortment that you have there to work with. And again, it goes back inside there actually pretty nicely and stays in nice and tight. The hammer here, nothing too crazy or fancy. It does allow you to, oh, that's neat. You have the 2 placements for your nail, so you can lay it in the first one or in the second one as needed, and it'll keep it there as you start to drive. Looks like they use an epoxy to seal off the top. I don't know if this is wood or steel inside here. Again, rubber over mold, good pliability to that. Not too soft, but firm enough. And the hammer, I mean, that's gonna be sufficient enough for home use. I would say for home use, that's gonna be plenty good for trying to put a nail in the wall for a picture or what have you. Has a claw on the back. Claw seems decent. Not too bad. Yeah. Decent hammer for there. You have a crescent wrench. Again, BlackZero. Rubber over mold. Let's see how good that play is. Got a little bit of play in there for sure. How about side to side? Not too bad on the side to side. So let's think you go up to 1 inch and then some. Maybe that's 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. So plenty big for most people's needs. But there you have it for your crescent or adjustable wrench. Pliers, I actually like these. These are pretty decent pliers. Gonna have your needle nose. They're spring assisted. Again, that rubber over mold. Even though actually the gray is rubber over mold is too. You have your BlackZero writing here. Let's grab a big piece of wire here. This is gonna be a little bit over the top. Let's just see how well it works with something a little bit past its intended use. It did just fine. So these are both. That's got a flat tip on it, and that's got a sharp edge. So that works good for cutting, especially long duration. A little bit of a stripper down inside there, crimping ones. So they did a good job giving you some offerings in between for as you crimp and need to use these pliers, these needle nose pliers. So not a bad gig. They're actually pretty decent for, I would say, entry to medium level setup. And then next up is this tape measure. It's auto, is that auto locking? Yeah. So very unique design. It's a 10-foot long. Release buttons up here. So usage is pretty good. I like how they measure it in inches and in centimeters, so it makes it easy for whatever application you need. And especially for my viewers that may not be in the United States, maybe outside, millimeters are nice because that's what most people use outside the US. So again, placement is actually great too. Everything fits inside there. So this, guys, is tray number 1. And let's dive in and take a look at tray number 2. All right, so this is box number 2. We're gonna crack it open. And you can order these also in multiple piece sets. So it doesn't have to be the 3-piece, it could just be a 2-piece or 1-piece, but you get a better deal on all 3. All right, set number 2, same handle, same everything on here. It does show the gun on here, and like the other one, you release the side clasps, and then the front, press the button, fold it open. Again, same verbiage. Got a little pad up here, same pad here, and there you go. What do we got here? We have ourselves a drill. Here is your USB-C to USB-C hookup. So obviously that's how this charges. We'll show you that real quick. USB-C in the bottom. And then as far as the handle goes, this press button, release, allows you to pull this apart to use it. Now, the capacity of this battery is 1600 milliamps. And it looks like there's a light selector down here. Maybe this is why you're charging it. Shows you how charged it is. I haven't had to charge this up yet. It still came with a charge. But they do say, too, that when this is removed, you can also use it as a power bank. So if you have anything else that you're working on tool-wise, or headphones, or your phone, you could charge via this battery pack. So that is kind of crafty. I like that you don't have to get some other accessory to charge other items. Okay, we'll get to that in just a sec. Now, drill bits, you have a run here of 5/16 all the way down to 5/64. And these just look like your standard. Oh, actually, these are more wood-based. So if you're trying to drill into a stud, get a nice guide point here, and then it'll cut through. So I'd say obviously your softer materials, wood, plastics, drywall, you name it. I would not drill into steel with this. They do offer a couple other bits. I'm gonna wonder if these are all gonna be. They're all so far the same. Yeah, so these are going to be just wood or soft materials. Now, this is actually going to be a pretty cool little item. So you have your 1/4-inch hex drive for any of your impacts or what have you. But this is cool in that, well, first and foremost, you could use it to obviously put your bits in. And then you'll put that in the chuck here and run it to drill in whatever you need to drill in. But if you get yourself in a tight spot, you also have the ability to do a wobble, and I love this wobble. This is not a traditional wobble. This is your hex-shaped wobble, and the name of it's escaping right now. Guys, feel free to put in the comments. But this is more of a high-end style wobble because it uses more of the surface area inside here on the driver itself, and it's just a superior one. They tend to hold up better. And also not bind as bad. Like, see how easy it is to spin? So depending on your angle, it's just such a smooth setup. And it has a magnet in here too. So as you're going and you realize, okay, now I can go straight, it'll lock right back in just for you. It's going to want to stay there. And then to fully lock it into place, slide that down. Looks like you can still pull it apart, but it won't bend at least. So a little bit of a safety device. I actually really like that. That's pretty trick. Then next up is going to be your nice little, looks like a black phosphate step drill bit. 1/4 inch all the way up to 3/4 inch. So, and it's got a 2 fluted design. So pretty standard when it comes to these. Nothing, you know, out of the ordinary or top line on that, but pretty decent. And then again, on more of these bits, so you guys are going to see more of these security bits up here. Yeah, you got a couple of your traditional flats and PHs, but all pretty standard. And you have another gambit of them down here. Again, more security bits. You're going to have your nice screw bits. So these are going to be nice little bits for, you know, any sort of recessed or drywall. The magnet on here allows your screw to hop on and hold in place. And then as you drill, it just holds it in place. So that nice flat crown faces, it does an excellent job on. I'm sure you could do it on. See, this one's not going to go. I think this is stainless though. We'll try this one. Yeah. So any Phillips will still work on. But works best with especially the drywall type screws. So you get 2 of those, and they're both Phillips number 2s. You also get 2 of these adapters or extensions. They're kind of a 2-in-1. So you have the ability to run both of these as needed. And they both have magnets inside for retention. And I would imagine these are still, yeah, those are still pretty decent retention inside there. Okay, so for you guys that are also going to run them as nut drivers, you have a couple nut driver bits from 1 inch all the way down to 7 3/4, and those are going to go inside the gun as well. And they seem to be pretty decent in quality. Definitely not on the cheap side. Okay, so here is the gun. So I'll say this, it got kind of like a piano black going on here. It has more of a flatter, almost rubberized feel to the gray sections. And it says BlackZero. So this is a, again, 16.8 volt with a 1600 milliamp battery. And it's brushless. And you hear that sound. That is, I mean, to me, that's a very unique sound. It has that nice little LED that lights up the place. And this is the cool part. So if you're driving it this direction, actually, let's put a bit inside there. In this direction, it wants to go clockwise, right? And you could, I love that with the trigger here, you have the ability to dial in that progression. You go really low on the RPMs. So I want to say there's like 30 steps to this easily, which is not common. You can really crank this guy up and get him rolling. Okay, so the cool part I like is, you know, remember how there's usually a selector to click back and forth for forward and reverse? Well, you just tap this button. Changes to blue. Now you're in reverse. Forward. Reverse. Forward. Reverse. That is actually really cool. I think they did an awesome job with that. So, kudos to them. This knob doesn't turn, it's more there for style. But as you tap this, you could go through all of your torque settings, right? So if you're doing small screws, medium screws, large screws, automatic, and I think that is just a direct drive. No, I think it's really small screws. So that's going to really limit you on power. I think that. Oh, cool. And as you change it, it's telling you which direction it's going. So that's going to be reversed. And this one puts you in forward. So really nice touch feel and usage on this. I mean, and it's fairly strong at 60 Newton meters of torque is what you're going to get out of this. So, and it really wants to kick out. So, I am impressed with the drill so far. I mean, it's definitely very unique. It's in its own niche, But if you're doing homework, right, if you're working on your house, not a bad drill set. So here's what's all in here. I'm going to move on to the next box. All right, guys, here's the last box. It is the, well, you'll see here, there's actually multiple little items inside. So we'll open it up. Again, another handle for separate usage. Sides click open to unlock. Push the button on the front as the last lock. Open it up inside, and you get, again, ABS. Still feels like ABS molding. You get the tool storage box. So feel free to review that if you like. Has a nice little compartmentalized foam pad. But this is what's going to be inside here, and this is going to allow you guys to, you can remove these as needed. It's definitely removable if you want to. I'm actually trying not to let all this make a mess in here for this video, but you can remove and organize this tray as needed. Now, what are you going to get inside there? Well, you're going to get your anchors for doing drywall, different sizes, different screws, go larger, different screws. You get your connectors, electric connectors, your large, your medium, and looks like you get one large and some smalls inside this one. You get your fair share of zip ties, definitely on the smaller side of zip ties. You're going to get your larger screws as well. Sorry about that. Getting a little crazy with the camera. As well as your IKEA parts, as I call them, because these look very similar to IKEA parts, but this is going to be for whatever furniture you have, and screws. So I imagine these are going to go with these just fine, or just any other additional screws that you might need to work on. And these are all going to be hex. So, cool little setup there. Various heat shrink tubing from fairly large. All right, looks like about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, on down to these rather small ones. So if you're doing electrical work and you need heat shrink, there's no heat shrink gun, so you're a little screwed there. But if you have a lighter, you could do the same thing. Picture frame hanging from big, medium, and small. These are going to be drywall screws. Small, medium, and medium-ish. Some more small ones. So as you need to use those. I kind of wish there was a little slightly longer setup, maybe 1.5 inches. And more of these anchors for drywall and screws. So that's the full rundown of this setup. It's nice, I would say, for anyone who's looking, especially if you're a new homeowner, or maybe just a homeowner in general, and you don't like to have tools, or you don't have a lot of tools, something like this is a great starting point, right up your alley. I would start with something like this, because it's a complete set of probably about 90% of the tools that you're going to need in your house. So what's great about this setup is you can take all 3 of these units and stack them on top of each other. So once stacked, you could then take and start with the bottom. And we'll try to see if we get you guys to see this as I do it. Might be a little bit tough. You can see these are all set up like this. So start at the bottom, and you go, instead of going to just your first clasp, which is right here to lock it, you actually take it and you run it to the top and clip into the top one. Again, clip into the top one. And then this guy just clasps on himself. And then you go ahead and do the same to the other side. Clasp, clasp, and clasp. Now these clasps are all plastic. Nothing steel about them other than the hinge on them's steel. But what you end up getting is you get one complete tool set that you could, as you guys see it here. I'm going to zoom out because this is way too close. This allows you to hold it all in one unit just like so. And if you have, right, your closet, or you have under the kitchen sink a place you want to put all your tools, I would definitely put the one that you use the most on the top. So if that ends up being the drill bit, please quickly get in there. Or if you want to get to your, hammer or pliers, what have you, I put the most accessible one on top. But that's how it all goes together, guys. It's a pretty cool setup. Again, ABS plastic. I would mention this being mostly applicable to people who are buying a new home. You're buying a new home, or you're just getting into tools. This is actually a good set. So where do you find it at? BlackZREO.com. I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can get directly to it. And pricing on it is a little bit, well, it's a little bit all over the place. I think they're trying to do a lot of different sales, free shipping, all sorts of different stuff, which is nice that they're trying to do. I think they're just trying to get off the ground. And so their introductory price for it is actually, I would say, a little bit on the higher end. You get all these tools here for about $269. But again, they do sales on it, and it does come down. Take a look at it, see if it's right for you. But I would say, again, the quality of these tools, a lot of them are China-made. I think most of them are China-made, but they're not on the lower end of China-made. These are like higher-end China-mades, and that drill is actually pretty nice. Now for you guys who are doing automotive or machine work or whatever, obviously this is not going to be the set for you. You're going to be more into specialized tooling, more higher-end tooling. But for average homeowner, get one box like this. It's actually not a bad idea. Start with this, build from this if you want, and keep it all uniform and together in one set. So I think it's not a terrible idea. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. And if you guys already haven't subscribed, please do so down below, and please give us a like. Helps this channel grow. Anyways, love to hear your guys' comments. Please put them down there. Please tell me what you think. Or maybe there's a better set than this out there for an introductory. I'm all ears. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.